So like I said, the first time I was ever bullied was actually in kindergarten. I was 5 years old and a boy told me I was stupid and dumb because I couldn't get part of the alphabet right, or I wasn't good with numbers or something. I'm not really sure, but that was the first experience I ever had with it. So in elementary school, I was taunted a lot by both boys and girls. It was never really one or the other. People say sometimes boys will bully other boys and girls will bully other girls, but for me it was both. So in elementary school, I was bullied, and I would have people throw things at me, whether it was pencils, kind of spit wad paper. I had people throw chewed up food. They would chew it up and then throw it at me. They would put it in the hood of my sweatshirt, and then I wouldn't find it until the end of the day. I also had people tell me I was dumb and stupid, and it wasn't just other kids, it was also adults too that I thought I could trust, but it turned out that I couldn't. And so in middle school was when it got the worst. I had a girl shove me into lockers. She would open her locker and push me against it and then slam my head with the door. She would put like paper towels and like toilet paper like in my locker because we had the same PE period, so she knew where it was and everything. She told me that I was stupid, that I was ugly, that I was fat, that I was just basically worthless and that I had no value whatsoever. And then that went on for the full year. That was, I believe it was 7th grade. And in 8th grade, I had a boy that was the absolute worst. Basically what he would do, he would throw textbooks at my head, he would push me, he would kick me, he would punch me. I sat next to him in one of my classes and he would repeatedly jab his pencil into my leg. He told me that I was ugly, that I was fat, that I was stupid. He told me that I was unlovable and I had no value. He also said that nobody would ever love me. He said that if I just disappeared or didn't show up to school one day, or even if I died, nobody would care or notice. So that went on for the entire year. So in high school, it wasn't as bad, but I still had people tell me that I was stupid and that I was worthless, and those were their exact words. I had people tell me that I was worthless, that I was a waste of space, that I wouldn't amount to anything, that I was just unlovable and that nobody cared about me. And because of all this cruelty and all these people telling me all these things, I started to believe it. I figured I'm only one person and all these other people are telling me these things, that I'm worthless, that I can't do anything, so it must be true. And so for all those years that it happened, I ended up believing everything that they told me. And I began to say it to myself. I basically became my own bully. I was my own worst enemy, and every day I would say, okay, I'm worthless, I'm unlovable, I'm stupid, I'm not pretty, I can't do anything with my life. And so I got to a really bad place where I started self-harming because I felt like I deserved that pain. That was most of what I knew, was just pain that other people caused me, so I decided to cause it to myself. And so I started cutting, and I became very depressed, and so I got into such a dark place that every day I just thought I was worthless, and I didn't believe that anybody cared about me. I didn't feel like I could go to anybody with my problems. So I spent 15 years not telling anybody what had happened to me. And that was probably the hardest thing, because I was just left with it in my head and just thinking about it constantly. But I just felt like I couldn't tell anybody. And looking back now, I realized that I could have, and that there were people that cared about me, and that was my biggest regret, was that I never told anybody. So in high school, my sophomore year, I actually was hospitalized after a near suicide attempt, and I was in the hospital for a few days. I believed that nobody cared about me and that I was worthless. I believed everything that I was told. All the negative things I believed. That's about it. So I want you to know that you are loved, you are valuable, and tomorrow's a new day, and you deserve to see it.